내 말대로 얌전히 있으면 내가 1년 뒤에 지구 내려가서 술 한잔 사주겠습니다.
A new frenzy has taken hold of K-drama followers. When the Stars Gossip, a series that catapults romantic tension into orbit, features Minho and Gong Hyo-jin grappling with zero gravity, comedic complications, and emotional upheavals. But the central buzz? They devoted an entire month to a single, pivotal sequence, as revealed by Asia 1. Fans have flooded social networks with speculation over what demanded such an extensive shoot, and whether comedic illusions and heartbreak can truly coexist in an isolated station. Let's delve into the drama's unique setting, the lead's relentless drive for perfection, and how the production overcame cosmic obstacles to craft a potentially iconic moment.
이쪽은 플로리스트 공룡 씨입니다. 인사드려요.
Early hints about when the Stars Gossip told of harnessed filming, comedic mishaps, and a storyline partway between star-crossed romance and comedic mania. Viewers have devoured K-dramas involving mythical creatures, parallel dimensions, or grand historical arcs, but placing comedic friction in orbit takes ambition to another level. Media outlets, including Asia 1, described an environment where the usual K-drama tropes, like accidental skinship and witty banter, become entwined with harness-based illusions. Each daily act, from cooking to heartfelt confessions, can turn chaotic when drifting props or spinning bodies intrude.
공룡 역을 맡은 이민호입니다. 첫 촬영을 시작했는데요. 앞으로 꽤나 고생길이 열릴 것 같지만 모두
The two leads soared onto watchers' radars for their comedic capabilities, but no one predicted they'd spend a month perfecting one scene. Observers claimed it wasn't purely about comedic showmanship. Something deeper had to be at play to justify so much time and retakes. Online communities fixated on the possibility that comedic meltdown might pivot to raw sincerity, forging a dramatic anchor point for the entire show. The drama's risky premise and big reputation for comedic flair gave watchers ample reason to expect something extraordinary.
제가 두 번째 뻗을 때 조금 더 가주셔도 될 것 같아요. 두 번째 뻗을 때만 아까처럼 조금 갔다가 기록할 수
Filming each K-drama typically involves exhausting schedules, but devoting roughly 30 days to one segment surpasses normal practice. Fans on Twitter expressed astonishment, repeatedly asking whether comedic illusions alone warranted that timeline. A portion of watchers guessed the scene might be a climactic revelation combining comedic meltdown with near-disaster stakes, forcing the characters to drop comedic facades and confront suppressed longing. If comedic extremes overshadow sincerity, watchers might check out. So the production presumably aimed to integrate comedic spats and emotional truths seamlessly. Insider whispers say complicated harness sequences mandated repeated setups, especially if comedic retorts or subtle gestures demanded consistent positioning. Crew members apparently replaced drifting items or repositioned cables after every slight adjustment, elongating filming. By focusing so intently on that scene, the director presumably sought a standout achievement that lingers in watchers' memories, something transcending comedic gag territory to become a defining piece of the show's identity.
보니까 저도 촬영이 기대되고 그냥 지상에서 찍던 드라마와 아주 많이 다르게.
In prior roles, Minho displayed comedic energy while balancing an undercurrent of emotional gravitas. Taking that skill into outer space inevitably created fresh complications. Comedic meltdown stunts, harness work, and cosmic illusions all needed alignment with the script's emotional demands. According to Hush Hush staff accounts, the actor insisted on redoing sections if comedic beats felt off-kilter or if his expressions didn't capture the emotional undercurrent. Some watchers lauded him as meticulous, praising the emphasis on comedic synergy over half-done illusions.
게임 지금은 아니고요.
제 게임 그렇게 포인트야. 그럼 내가 급하게 알았지. 네, 10분은 0.3.
In social media discussions, watchers recalled times in his previous dramas, like a comedic reaction shot overshadowing a pivotal confession, where precise comedic timing enhanced emotional depth. Now, that principle magnifies when comedic banter happens mid-float. If comedic mania overshadowed heartbreak, the moment could become cartoonish. So the month might reflect Lee Min-ho's unwavering drive to ensure comedic tension and emotional resonance converge flawlessly.
열 때도 딱
Gong Hyo-jin, celebrated for comedic roles that never lose sincerity, walked into the harness-laden set with her trademark spontaneity intact. Sources suggested she improvised comedic bits once in the rig, noticing how drifting props or unexpected angles could spark comedic brilliance. But each improvised stroke often demanded fresh lighting angles or reblocking for cameras. That cyclical retooling consumed time. Yet watchers on Instagram wrote supportive posts, believing her comedic instincts, refined in shows like Master Sun, would shine here in a wholly new context. The deeper question remains, does comedic invention gel with the drama's cosmic premise? Observers say Gong Hyo-jin found comedic cracks in tense scenarios, interjecting subtle jokes that highlight the absurdity of living in microgravity. However, melding that with the overall emotional arc likely forced repeated tries. She wasn't just reeling off comedic lines. Her character presumably also bears emotional burdens. Making comedic banter spark heartfelt awareness might be the real reason such extensive takes were necessary.
왼쪽 봐주시고요. 그리고 오른쪽 끝쪽을 봐주시고요.
Some watchers suspect that comedic meltdown sequences became the driving factor behind this extended shoot. Casting comedic leads wasn't enough. The drama also had to simulate microgravity illusions realistically. Crew interviews shared on social media mentioned how comedic collisions or comedic stumbles in harness rigs demanded minute recalibrations. A single comedic toss of an item might spiral unpredictably, jeopardizing continuity. If comedic mania triggers an emotional epiphany, messing up the comedic timing can derail the moment's entire emotional punch.
배양 전문이니까.
배양은 공룡 씨 전문이에요. 가장 좋아하는 장면?
Repeated retakes might revolve around comedic moments spontaneously morphing into confessions or teary admissions. The show presumably seeks to anchor comedic mania in deeper stakes, ensuring watchers don't dismiss the cosmic environment as mere spectacle. Some fans posted on Twitter that comedic illusions are worthless if they fail to highlight the drama's heart, which might be that one monumental scene. The harness-driven unpredictability thus partly explains the full month. Asia One's coverage piqued interest in the notion that this scene might be the drama's turning point. Online speculation points to a pivot from comedic clashes to raw vulnerability, like an oxygen crisis that unites the leads in unforeseen solidarity. The comedic meltdown might occur first, unleashing a storm of comedic bits, only to be overshadowed by a near catastrophe. That abrupt shift could prompt confessions that watchers have been craving.
지금 이 모양 이 꼬라지로 대체 언제 무중력을 이기고 정확하게 난자의 정자를 찔러 넣을 건데?
Producers remained tight-lipped about specifics, but interviews dropped hints about the scene that redefines their dynamic, fueling watchers' imaginations. Fan communities suspect tears will flow, comedic retorts will vanish, and the harness-laden environment will intensify the emotional closeness. Considering these actors' reputations, watchers foresee comedic tension unraveling in a split second, replaced by honest revelations. If the show executes that transformation flawlessly, the month's filming might resonate as a stroke of brilliance rather than an overblown quirk.
그냥 제가 뒤로 덜 젖혀야 되는데 그게 갑자기 이러는 게 남자 같아서 자꾸요. 다시 해볼게요.
Twitter and Reddit threads bristle with remarks from fans applauding the cast's tenacity. One user wrote, "If Lee Min-ho is devoting 30 days to a single scene, it'll be epic, like comedic meltdown meets emotional meltdown times 10. Another fan posted an Instagram story praising Gong Hyo-jin's knack for comedic creativity, calling her the queen who can transform cosmic disarray into heartfelt clarity. Memes circulated depicting comedic harness entanglements morphing into near kisses, capturing watchers' hopeful fantasies. Yet some watchers remain wary, asking if comedic illusions might overshadow real storytelling. A Twitter post garnered likes by stating, "1 month might be a red flag, maybe comedic stunts are overshadowing plot." Others responded that comedic synergy plus meticulous harness work might define a signature moment rivaling iconic K-drama confessions in more traditional settings. This split in viewer expectations demonstrates the risk of such a protracted shoot.
정말 우주인들이 우주 스페이스십에서 어떻게 생활하는지.
Technicians who've spoken off record suggest comedic meltdown scenes revolve around drifting items, spinning bodies, or comedic collisions that segue into emotional realizations. The set, built for cosmic illusions, contains multiple pulleys and rigging setups that frequently tangle if comedic timing veers off plan. One staffer apparently joked that comedic scuffles risk turning into comedic fiascos that overshadow the emotional lines. So the crew tried everything from adjusting harness angles to refining lighting to ensure comedic chaos never drowned out heartfelt moments.
별들에게 물어봐.
화이팅!
화이팅!
화이팅! Vamos!
In standard comedic scenes, lines can be delivered with minimal fuss, but microgravity illusions force the team to measure every comedic gesture so it wouldn't clash with the emotional rhythm. The process undeniably caused repeated retakes. Additionally, if comedic mania overshadowed one line, they had to reset the entire sequence, a laborious step in a zero-gravity set. Over a month, such complexities presumably stacked up. Observers on social networks expressed admiration, labeling it the most dedicated comedic romance stunt ever witnessed.
정말 우주인들이 우주 스페이스십에서 어떻게 생활하는지 많은 궁금증이 해결되셨으면 좋겠어요.
Throughout this protracted process, hints suggest a united cast and crew ethos. Some watchers discovered behind-the-scenes snapshots showing Minho cracking jokes with staff, while Gong Hyo-jin tested comedic lines mid-air. Despite the punishing schedule, everyone seemed to rally around the idea that comedic synergy must remain pristine and the emotional undercurrent must ring true. That synergy likely kept morale from buckling under repeated harness malfunctions or comedic retakes. The tension wasn't about negativity, but a shared goal, forging something special viewers wouldn't soon forget. Producers have teased that watchers will see pure comedic brilliance fused with raw intensity, fueling belief that the scene is truly vital, not an exaggerated side note. Asia One's piece confirmed the exhaustive effort was validated by the cast's unwavering devotion. If comedic meltdown preludes a revelation about personal scars or hidden affection, the heartbreak and comedic brilliance might land perfectly, rewriting how watchers perceive cosmic romance.
사람들이 다 뭐랄까 쓸데없어하고 계속
Speculation about what triggers the month-long moment runs rampant online. Some watchers guess an oxygen shortage that initially triggers comedic chaos, like the leads spinning around, trying to fix a glitch, then culminating in confessions. Others propose comedic friction over station chores grows into a meltdown of frustration until they unexpectedly share intimate secrets. Another rumor swirling on social platforms says a near-tragic collision unites them in a fleeting kiss that's equal parts comedic flail and heartfelt passion.
제 옆에 있는
A minority suspects an epic comedic meltdown, overshadowing the entire emotional arc. They worry comedic illusions might overshadow sincerity if the scene tries to do too much. But believers in both actors trust that comedic mania leads to heartbreak-laden confessions, the hallmark of their combined track records. Some even declared they're clearing their schedules for that episode, convinced the payoff will justify the hype.
아, 좀 못 참을 것 같은데 어떡하냐.
If a single scene can claim an entire month, watchers wonder how other K-dramas might respond. Could shows start investing extra weeks perfecting comedic illusions or haunting confessions? Industry insiders caution that not every production can afford that approach. Time constraints and budgets are real factors. But if When the Stars Gossip reaps success, it might inspire creators to be bolder with comedic illusions, whether set on other celestial bodies or similarly unconventional locales. Social media watchers also highlight how comedic subplots in K-dramas often revolve around mild misunderstandings or silly banter in everyday spaces. This project, however, might blaze a trail for comedic extremes in boundary-pushing settings, like underwater labs, polar research stations, or desert outposts. The cast's willingness to double down on harness work could open new comedic vistas for future rom-coms, eager to stand out from typical city-bound narratives.
이걸로 들어보니까 뭔 소린지 하나도 모르겠어.
The show's marketing teases that watchers won't know exactly which episode hosts the monumental scene, prompting them to stay glued from start to finish. Some watchers have even declared on Twitter that they plan to watch parties or reaction videos specifically to witness whether comedic mania meets heartfelt catharsis in a single swoop. Others remain cautious. If comedic illusions fall flat, critics might label the month a misguided gamble. Nonetheless, momentum leans positive, with fans citing how comedic synergy plus deep sincerity often yields K-drama gold. If comedic meltdown sets the stage for heartbreak-laced revelations, the final product could surpass earlier cosmic fantasies in raw emotional power. Observers recall that comedic extremes often highlight a show's capacity for surprising warmth. The extended filming might be the key step to ensuring comedic fiascos seamlessly feed into genuine, tear-inducing confessions. When the Stars Gossip already stood out for its cosmic premise, but the revelation of a month-long shoot for one sequence launches it into K-drama legend territory. Lee Min-ho's methodical obsession with comedic timing and Gong Hyo-jin's intuitive comedic brilliance melded in an environment so tricky that every retake risked upending comedic illusions or undercutting the emotional through line. Fans are on the edge of their seats, not just for comedic zero-gravity pranks, but also the promise of a deeply affecting conversation that demanded weeks of collaboration.
오빠 저 약간 여기 볼게요.
Here's the question. Do you think a whole month spent on one sequence indicates unrivaled dedication or excessive fuss? Drop your take in the comments. Would you prefer comedic mania or a powerful emotional payoff, or maybe both entwined? Share your thoughts below. And if you're craving more tidbits on K-dramas and star-studded gossip, make sure to subscribe to K-Drama Buzz. With an industry pushing boundaries every year, who knows which future drama might top the cosmic spectacle of a single scene, requiring 30 days to achieve comedic and emotional perfection? The thrill of discovery is just beginning.